Albus Dumbledore, headmaster of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, and a man with a list of achievements so long that it would leave someone out of breath twice before completion if they dared to speak it. So when Gilderoy Lockhart, a man of high status himself, receives a job offer, it was bound to stir up some curiosity. And with the opportunity to teach the legendary Harry Potter, how could he refuse? There was only one problem. Albus Dumbledore's intentions may not have been as benevolent as they first seemed. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I am so excited to be back, bringing you another Harry Potter video, mainly because this video isn't about some no-name loser like Voldemort, but instead the greatest wizard of a generation, Professor Gilderoy Lockhart, Order of Merlin, 3rd class. And that's a travesty, if you ask me. He should be 1st class. Easy. But anyway, you see, we all know that Lockhart is the greatest professor that Harry has ever had. I mean, it is because of Lockhart that Harry learns the very spell that would one day help him defeat Voldemort. And if you ask me, if it wasn't for the jinx on the dark arts position, Lockhart would have made Harry an absolute monster in a duel. Well, the jinx, and of course the fact that Dumbledore was maliciously plotting to tear him down. Why? Jealousy, most likely. But if this sounds surprising to you, then allow me to elaborate on just what it is I'm talking about. You see, Dumbledore as headmaster has a bit of an issue when it comes to filling the defense against the dark art position, mostly because Voldemort is a little bit of a loser, and he puts a jinx on the position after not being able to get the job. A jinx that basically makes it so that everyone who gets the job can only last 1 year in the position, which, as a teacher myself, I feel like the more evil thing to do would be to make the jinx last like 7 months or something, and that makes the kids have to start scrambling without a teacher before their final exams. But that's just me. Who am I to tell the Dark Lord how to be evil? Anyway, thanks to Harry, who left Quirrell a sack of dust at the end of Philosopher's Stone, Dumbledore likely searched high and low for a professor worthy of the title, and of course, came across Gilderoy Lockhart's resume, rather his robust bibliography, and awed by what he read, Lockhart was asked to take up the post, but being the busy man ridding the world of evil and whatnot, Dumbledore had to sweeten the deal by telling Lockhart that he would get to play a hand in training the legendary Harry Potter, the only wizard capable of being the Robin to his Batman. Of course, Lockhart would accept and become one of the shining lights of the Chamber of Secrets book, my favorite book in the entire series. I actually did a movie ranking very early in this channel, like in a tier list, and if you haven't had a chance yet, you should go and watch it. Of course, it's one of my earlier videos, so it's not as good as this, but still, worth a watch if you want. Okay, but enough memeing, it's time to get serious now. Lockhart is portrayed almost immediately as a fraud, and despite his fierce reputation, he is unable to do things like mend bones, capture pixies, or really show any skill in defensive magic whatsoever. Now, it would be one thing if Dumbledore had indeed been fooled like the rest of the world into thinking Lockhart was legit, but unfortunately, we know for a fact that Dumbledore knew Lockhart was a fraud from the moment he was hired. You see, Lockhart is gifted at only one type of magic: memory charms, and he likely would have made a pretty galleon as an obliviator for the Ministry, but instead he would use his powers for villainy. And Lockhart, as we know, would rocket to fame by interviewing witches and wizards who'd performed admirable acts of heroism, only to wipe their memories and steal their stories, treating them like bad fan fiction and self-inserting himself as the MC. And in Chapter 18 of Chamber of Secrets, it's revealed to us that Dumbledore was well aware of this tactic. In the chapter Dobby's Reward, the following interaction takes place. "Professor Dumbledore," Ron said quickly, "there was an accident down in the Chamber of Secrets. Professor Lockhart." "Am I a professor?" said Lockhart in mild surprise. "Goodness, I expected I was hopeless. Was I?" "He tried to do a memory charm, and the wand backfired," Ron explained quietly to Dumbledore. "Dear me," said Dumbledore, shaking his head, his long silver mustache quivering. "Impaled upon your own sword, Gilderoy." "Sword," said Lockhart dimly. "Haven't got a sword. The boy's got one, though. He'll lend you one." So again, Dumbledore clearly knows that Lockhart is a liar, and yet he allows the man to pretend to teach the students, and most importantly Harry Potter, the boy he knows must be the one to vanquish the Dark Lord, defense against the dark arts. It seems unreasonable and irresponsible, and truthfully, it is. Now, Dumbledore is a very divisive character, and theories for why Dumbledore would hire Lockhart typically fall into two camps. There is the camp that I feel most people side with, being that Lockhart was a lesson in the importance of humility for Harry, And then there is the side that I personally find way more amusing, which is that Dumbledore is one petty freaking wizard. And while this video is not about the first theory, I will briefly explain it, and then at the end of the video recommend one of my favorite channels that I feel does this opinion justice. But essentially, Lockhart and Harry are in many ways foils of one another. For example, Lockhart claims to have been a talented seeker. Harry is one. Lockhart claims to have defeated many dark wizards. Harry will defeat the greatest dark wizard of his time. Even the fact that Lockhart's secret dream is to have a line of hair care products contrasts with Harry, whose family fortune comes from a successful line of hair care products. Lockhart is to Dumbledore everything he believes a hero should try to avoid being. He is selfish, arrogant, dishonest, and will do nothing for the betterment of others. With Dumbledore knowing Harry's destiny as the chosen one, Dumbledore finds it incredibly important that Harry be a man of humility and self-sacrifice. Harry needs to remain a wizard that Dumbledore can guide and influence and trust to do the right thing, and not the easy thing. In short, Lockhart, according to this theory, was there to serve as a lesson to Harry on how not to be. And while I do love this theory, I love the reason J.K. Rowling provided on Pottermore even more. And back when the wizarding world was called Pottermore, someone asked Rowling why Dumbledore, knowing Lockhart was an oaf, would hire him, and Rowling responded that Dumbledore, while reading through Lockhart's book, recognized that he knew two of the wizards whose feats Lockhart had stolen. So Albus began concocting a plan, and he believed that all that was needed for Lockhart to be exposed was for him to be put in an ordinary school setting. And apparently, when this plan was shared with McGonagall, Albus received some pushback from her, and replied, "There is plenty to be learned, even from a bad teacher. What not to do, how not to be." Now, why do I love this answer so much? Well, there are two reasons. The first is that it is just hysterical to me that Dumbledore could be so petty as to just screw over all those poor fifth years trying to pass their OWLs just because he was trying to give Lockhart that Kendrick on Meet the Grahams treatment. But the other reason is that while Albus Dumbledore is certainly a genius and I believe in his heart a good person, he is not someone who is above being petty or angry with someone. Let's not forget the iconic line to Snape when he didn't ask for Dumbledore to protect all of the Potters, but only Lily. In the words of Albus Dumbledore, "You disgust me." And with all the embarrassing and dangerous ways Dumbledore made Snape pay him back for trying to protect the Potters, we see that Dumbledore does have a propensity for cruelty. Dumbledore, of course, was a beacon of light for the wizarding world and an inspiration for so many wizards who fought against the darkness, but he was not a perfect man and had his share of character flaws, and I suppose that's why I like this reasoning for why Dumbledore hired Lockhart so much. Because it shows that sometimes Dumbledore isn't doing all these 5D chess maneuvers, but instead just being a petty old man, and I love that thought. Anyway, now that we're nearing the end of the video, I said I'd share one of my favorite videos that goes over Theory 1 that the Lockhart hire was supposed to be a lesson for Harry, and that is definitely the Super Carlin Brothers Dumbledore Big Plan video, or rather series, with all of the planning Dumbledore did in Chamber of Secrets being in Book 2, so it should be the second episode. I'm gonna leave a link somewhere, so go check that out if you haven't, because it's really worth the watch. But with that said, before you go, if you could be sure to leave a like on this video and hit the subscribe button while you're down there, that would be awesome. And if you have the time, I'd love to hear what you prefer as an answer to why Dumbledore hired Lockhart in the comments section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, peace. Hey everyone, Animated Jared here to say thank you so much for watching the video. My last Harry Potter video is the most viewed one on this channel by a mile, and hopefully this one will do numbers too. But seriously, my channel has come so far this year, and it's really all because of you. Your likes, subscriptions, and comments really keep motivating me to improve and get better, and I just can't express how much fun I've been having making these videos for all of you. So seriously, thank you all so much. Anyway, it's time for me to plug, so if you haven't yet followed me on X, please do so. I'm also going to be streaming on Twitch from time to time, so head on over there and follow me there too so you never miss a stream. If you want more Harry Potter content, check out my Harry Potter playlist on screen now. And if you want to hear me talk more about another one of my favorite book series, please check out my Percy Jackson video on why there aren't any Greek legacies at Camp Half-Blood. But whatever it is you choose to do, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and until next time, peace.